Okay, let's unpack this. We are doing a deep dive today into the sources covering the Survivor 49 finale and really the whole season.
Right, and it's a really important one to look at. The sources are pretty clear that while the season felt a little, I don't know, shortchanged as it was happening, the lessons from it are absolutely critical, especially since we know some of these players are coming right back for season 50.
Exactly. So this isn't just a look back, it's prep work. For you, the listener, the mission here is to really pull out the strategic lessons, the tactical mistakes.
And there were a lot of mistakes. The sources basically argue this season wasn't defined by brilliant moves, but by a stack of errors.
Which gets us to the core thesis from the analysis. Season 49 was all about what they call sliding door mistakes.
Yeah, these huge moments, the MC vote, that whole yellow boat thing, the Steven vote.
Right.
It's just errors stacking on top of errors, and each one just completely changed where the game was headed. It wasn't just a bad vote. It was a decision that literally closed the door to winning for multiple people at once.
So let's start with the big picture then. The overall assessment of the season was, I think that's the word everyone used, some fun players, but the first half was a slog.
A total slog. It was a structural issue, One tribe just kept losing, and when you keep going to the same tribal council, the game just gets stale.
Yeah, you don't get any cross-tribal dynamics.
Exactly. The analysis even joked you'd have to Frankenstein the first half of season 48 with the second half of 49 to get one elite season.
Wow.
That's how much the pacing was off. The drama really only clicked after the merge.
Okay, so as we break down that post-merge, we should use the classic framework, right? Social game, strategic game, and challenge performance.
Absolutely. Those are the pillars. And they help us see exactly where those sliding door moments went so wrong.
So let's jump right into the finale, the final five. And we have to start with this detail the sources pointed out, which is just, it's perfect. The season started and ended with Rizzo copying someone's puzzle.
It's an incredible, a poetic bookend to his game. He struggled in challenges, so he found another way to compete.
And my first reaction watching it live was this kind of ethical, oh, come on, annoyance. But the analysis completely reframes it. The critique isn't on Rizzo, it's on Savannah for not covering her puzzle.
Right. And the logic there is just pure pragmatism. It's the end of the game. You have to use every single tool you have as long as it's within the rules.
So it's not cheating, it's survival.
It's survival. And it's on Savannah to protect her work. It becomes a failure of her situational awareness, not a moral failure for Rizzo. It's a brutal standard, but that's the end game.
That makes so much sense. Okay, speaking of challenges, the sources were also pretty harsh on the advantages in general this season.
Yeah, they were called kind of dumb, which feels right. I mean, if a challenge is about balance or endurance, what's a small advantage really going to do? It's just activity, not actual strategic leverage.
It's filler. But the biggest mistake at the final five wasn't about an advantage. It was the Steven vote. The sources called it unbelievably baffling.
A colossally bad move, and here's why. It's a complete failure of risk management. You have to think worst case scenario.
So what was the worst case scenario they missed?
Well, what if Rizzo plays an idol right then? And Savannah's already won immunity. Suddenly your alliance is totally exposed. Voting Steven just didn't protect them from the variables still in play. He was short-sighted.
So errors stacking on errors. Which brings us to the final four. Savannah wins immunity, and we get Christina versus Sage for fire.
Yeah, and strategically, getting Christina out right before that fire-making challenge was 100% the right call. The sources give Savannah huge credit for that.
Why was it so critical to get her out then?
Because she was the person everyone saw building fires at camp. If you know there's a fire-making challenge coming up, you get the expert out right before. It's proactive.
She saw the challenge, but not just the jury threat. That is high-level thinking.
It is. But then, and this is maybe the biggest takeaway from the entire season,
Yeah.
we get this incredible admission. Both Savannah and Rizzo, the superfan, admitted they had not practiced making fire at all.
Wait, what? Not even in their backyard before coming out?
Nope, not in the sink, not on the island,
Right.
nothing. And it just shows you being a superfan who knows the rules doesn't replace practicing the actual physical fundamentals of the game.
That's unbelievable. So that smart move to get Christina out, it just gets handed over to pure luck because they couldn't do the one thing required at the final four.
It completely undermines the strategy. It's tragic.
Okay, but before we move on, let's give Savannah her due. The Christina vote was smart, and the sources also pointed to her move earlier to pull Sophie over. She had a good read on people.
Oh, absolutely. She played a strong game. Which leads us to that Final Four immunity where Sophie wins. And she makes the right call, putting Sage against Rizzo in fire.
Right. And now we have to talk about Rizzo's exit and his jury management, the Riz God stuff.
It was great TV, but the analysis says it was just terrible for his game. When you have that much swagger, when you make people feel stupid on the way out, you're telling the jury that you don't respect their game.
So the showmanship that built his brand also actively cost him the $1 million?
It was a huge blind spot. And the source analysts admitted the edit totally fooled them. They thought Rizzo was going to lose at Final Tribal. They never saw him as the Final Four boot.
Because his exit wasn't about jury management in the end, it was about fire.
It was pure chance. Neither he nor Savannah knew what they were doing. It was a coin flip, just a tragic way for his game to end.
But the sources do give him credit. He was cringy sometimes, but he earned it. He played hard, he took risks, he built a brand, and that's something.
For sure, that brand is why he's coming back.
Okay, so Final Tribal Council. This is where things, as they often do, got messy. The big moment was Christina's question to Savannah.
The question about naming the family members of every juror.
Yeah.
And the sources called that unfair. Deeply unfair. You have to remember, these people are starving. They haven't slept. They are just mentally broken. Testing their detailed memory like that isn't a test of their social game. It's a test of their cognitive function under extreme duress.
But isn't remembering details part of the social game? Where's the line?
The line, according to the analysis, is asking about game-relevant stuff. A better question would have been, tell me a personal story about my game that shows you were paying attention. Asking for family names feels like you're trying to exploit the physical toll of the game.
Gotcha. And despite that, Savannah handled it incredibly well. The sources said she had so much grace, and that response alone might have won her the game.
It showed composure, which juries love. Now, looking at the others, Sage had a great social game. People genuinely liked her, but our final pitch just didn't quite land. The whole career metaphor was a bit too abstract.
And Sophie.
Sophie articulated her game well, but the analysis found this one brutal sliding door moment for her.
Ah, another one. What was it?
Not taking Rizzo's idol when she had the chance around Final 6. If she gets that idol, the entire endgame changes. She might beat Savannah in fire. She might even win the whole thing. It was one single moment that she missed.
Wow. And in the end, Savannah takes it. The sources called her the best overall player. Good at challenges, good strategically, and solid at FTC.
Yeah, they said she had an old school feel. Competitive, direct, played to win, a deserving winner.
Which brings us to the future. Season 50. We know Rizzo and Savannah are back. That's an immediate threat.
Yeah, huge threat. They're back-to-back players. People haven't had years to forget their game, but they also haven't had enough time to really analyze it fully. They're this known but also unknown quantity.
So for Rizzo, what's the advice from the sources for his second chance?
It's really simple and really direct. If you can tone down the theatrics and lean into his strategic mind, basically ditch the Riz God stuff and just talk to the jury with humility, they think he could absolutely win.
So fix the one fatal flaw.
Exactly. Just fix the jury management.
That sets up an amazing season 50. The female cast looks strong, and we can finally, close the book on all the sliding doors of season 49.
And if there's one key lesson to take away from this for you, the listener, it's this. Strategy will only take you so far. You can have the perfect plan, like getting the fire-making expert out. But if you haven't practiced the basic skills yourself, you turn a calculated move into pure luck. Don't neglect the fundamentals.
And here's a final thought to chew on. Think about Sophie's missed move, that one high-leverage moment at Final 6. How often do players, under all that pressure, miss a single decision that completely defines their endgame? And more importantly, how can a player train themselves before the game to even spot those critical, singular moments when they pop up?